My name is Nissan Deneta. I'm the founder of Open Sales Academy and the creator of the Business Bootcamp. And this is the last video, the fourth video in a series of 4 videos where what I'm showing you, what I'm getting you, or my intention is at least, is to get into your head that whatever you have here, this information, this knowledge, this experience that you might have created and collected over years needs to get out, needs to be packaged in a way of a book before it's too late, while people are still waiting for it, while people can benefit from that, and while you can benefit from that tremendously. We were talking in the last videos on all the benefits of having your own book and why you must have a book. And we talked about how to use your book in order to grow your business, in order to become much more successful. And what I would like to do in this video, before we get towards the completion, is I would like you to take a few minutes and just take a step into the future. Just take yourself maybe a year and a half into the future. Imagine that everything that has to do with this book is already completed. You already set the few weeks and you wrote the book. You edited it, you got it to a publisher. The publisher was ecstatic about it. It published it, and now it's even available as a physical book, as your physical book, as your baby is coming out, and it's available in the shops, it's available for you, it's available for anyone that wants to buy it. And just have a look how it's going to change, how it's changed your life, not just personally, but also professionally in your business, how it changes people's lives around you. Because when you have your book, you become that expert, you become that authority. You might have been an expert before, or maybe nobody knew about you as an expert. But right now, the book is going to take it to a whole new level. Doesn't matter how known you were. Right now, it builds up, it moves from an expert to an authority. Remember, authority comes from author, and we are just wired this way. So imagine for yourself how much power it is when you're known as the expert in your niche. It can be in your very narrow area of expertise. I mean, if you have a specific pain, you have a certain headaches that you suffer from, would you go for a general practitioner, the house arts or the family doctor, or would you like to search for the person that actually specializes in this type of headaches? And we all will go when we're suffering from something, when we have a problem, when we have a challenge. We will all rather have it solved or being consulted, or at least consult with an expert. The book puts you in that expert position like nothing else. There is nothing else that will build this expert position and this authority as a book. So just imagine, what would your life look like when you have that position? When you have that position of authority, when people are actually start coming to you from your branch, from your industry, coming to you with questions, coming to you. I mean, we have a student that she became an expert on something with nutrition, and actually she didn't know anything about nutrition before. What happens is suddenly she started to publish. She published the book. She started to publish a blog about it, where she would take pieces from the book, and suddenly people that are known as world-known experts on nutrition started to contact her because her ideas were interesting, her ideas were unique. Or we have a woman that she actually didn't know what to write the book about, because she came to the course and she says, listen, I don't have any expertise. I think she was a secretary in the university or something like that. She said, I don't have any expertise. I don't have something to share with people. So I was working with her, trying to find out what is it that she knows, what is her life experience entails, what does she have more than just her credential. And she said that she actually a mother for 2 autistic kids. I think they had Asperger's, which is a light version of autism, but she was she was raising them, I think they were already teenagers when she came to us. And I said, what did you learn from that? And she says, what? I became an expert, for myself about raising autistic kids. And I read all the books. I've been through all the seminars. I know everything about that. And I said, do you think there's other parents that could benefit from your knowledge? And she says, I think so. So she decided to make the book about that. And she wrote a book about, I can't remember right now what was the name of the book, what was the title, but it was How to Live with an Autistic Child. And she immediately got a publisher, of course, because there was no book like that, I think, at that time. And then suddenly she started getting all those people that wanted to know more. And actually a totally different publisher, much bigger publisher, that was writing actually books for kids of how to handle difficult situations in their life, how to handle a divorce of their parents, death in the family, sickness or something like that, came to her and says, can you write for me a book about, what to do if I have an autistic brother or sister? And so that thing starts happening when you're becoming the authority, even if before you were not recognized that. The book makes you that authority. And this is something that's really valuable to remember. Imagine how many more clients would you get as a result of this book? I shared with you in the last videos what it made a difference for us. We didn't sell so many books, but each book had contained 2 tickets basically to a training, which was a front end, which was free. But when people filled up those trainings with 200, 250 people every single month, we converted those people, we upsell them to the advanced trainings where they paid the good money for that. And our business grew 10 times because of that. Just imagine that you're publishing or you're printing 1,000 books. And just imagine that you, like I suggested in the last video, you actually give them away to prospective clients, not to everyone, not that somebody comes in the street and take it from you, but you send it to the right people, or you contact the right people, or you meet the right people in an industry event, and you just give it to people that can be really good prospects for you. And imagine that 1 out of 10 or 15 of those books becomes a client. You do the calculation. How much is a client worth for you? And because you had 1,000 books, maybe you get 100 new clients, maybe you get 50 new clients. How much does this worth for you? This is an amazing power that you have in a book because it becomes this client magnet. Everybody wants to work with the experts. That's how it works. Of course, when you're becoming that expert and you start attracting those clients, the fees that you can charge are much higher than the fees that you could charge before that, just because you have a book to your name. It doesn't have to become a bestseller. I would like you to make it a bestseller, but it really doesn't have to. Just have a book will make that difference. Imagine also when you look a year from now that you don't need to sell anymore because people come to you. You don't have to come to them anymore. People come to you. They heard about you. They maybe read the book. Maybe they read a review in a paper or online, and they read a review about your book, and now they want to know more. I know that many of the consultants, many of the high-paid consultants that I'm working with, it's because I read first their book. I thought, hey, this person knows something. And then I would contact them and says, can you work with me? Can you help me personally? And this is something that a book can create for you, which I don't know any other medium that can do that. So just see your life when that's happening for you. See what happens when people start calling you instead of you having to call them. And remember, I shared with you, I think in the first lesson or in the first video, what happens when somebody even asks you, what is it that you're doing? And instead of going into a long explanation, you just say, listen, let me give you my book. Take a look at that, read that, or at least skim through it. If you like what's in the book, you're going to like me. I'm going to call you in a week. And you call them in a week, and it's a closed deal almost every single time, at least my experience. Imagine that the media start calling you. And it's not, I mentioned that I think in the last video, I mentioned that this becomes a magnet for the media. So when you're having a book and it's being sent out to the journalists or to the magazines, maybe just a press release, maybe the book itself, they will write about the book, but that's nothing. That's not what is important. What is important is that from now on, every time that there will be something in the news that connects to your area of expertise, when journalists are looking to interview different experts on the subject, they will find you because you have a book. That's how they're looking for. Journalists, when they're looking for an expert to respond to an issue or to give a contra opinion or, give a feedback on something, they will look for those people that wrote books in that area. So when you have that, the media start calling you. And at the beginning, I found out at the beginning it's trickling. It's a little bit, you get one call maybe here, one call there. But as soon as you start delivering value in those interviews, in those articles that people write about you or with you, then you will get it more and more and more. And that's a strategy that you need to develop. It's not something that happens just because you have a book, but this is something that without a book, you can't get it. You can't, you don't have a chance for that. Another thing that I would like you to take, if you're thinking already a year from now, when the book is ready, when the book is there, out there, your book, you can become a little famous, or a lot, it depends on you. I mean, I'm an introvert, so for me it's a little bit difficult, but if you like this attention, this is something that the book can create for you, because book does create this halo of fame around you, and it doesn't have to be fame, Oprah Winfrey fame, but it means that when you go into industry conference, for example, or trade show, people will start recognizing you. They will want to to have lunch with you. They might want to make deals with you, and this is how we created quite a few joint venture deals in our businesses, because people that knew my book and that gave me this position of hey, we want to work with a celebrity. Okay, so it's not a big thing, but it's very, very valuable for your business. And if you like the attention, then by all means, just go and make it big, because there are authors that knows actually how to do that very well, and they use that position in order to create this celebrity, which just grow your business by itself. It's a very powerful tool. You will get invited to speak in public. And if it's your thing, then I really suggest that you will jump on that. Because I mentioned yesterday, the price or the fee that you can charge for a keynote speech goes 3-4 times immediately just because you had a book there. They are looking for those people that they can market as experts, they can market as authorities, they can market as celebrity. Any conference organizer would prefer to have you talking about the subject than somebody else that can talk about the subject but doesn't have a book. I hope that makes sense. Again, this is about your book and what you can do with that. I want to share a few stories right now from my students about their successes. You heard about mine, and I don't want you to think that I'm special in any way, shape or form at all. I'm not a great writer. I never liked to write. I did that because I understood the power of that in my business, and I use it very well, and it grew my business, and it's still growing it. And right now I'm thinking about writing a couple of more books, because this book that is still building up my expert position is it's a personal development book, while I'm teaching mainly business and finances in the last quite a few years. So it's time to build up even more authority in that area. But let me give you some other examples. I mentioned, I think the last video, Verd's book. Verd's book, Verd, my partner, she wrote The Financial Independence for Women. And she followed the same system that I wrote my book, so it took her about 3.5 weeks to write it. But what was important in this book is that because she made the marketing, she made the niche so clear, she differentiated herself so clear from everybody else by focusing that specific topic for women, that I mentioned that she got a international or US publishing it's not one of the largest, but it's a quite large publisher. Within 45 minutes phone call or less, just by showing the book, explaining, what she's doing, she showed that she actually knows how to market, which this is very, very important for a publisher. And that's one thing that is great for you as a student of Open Circles, because you're not just an author, you're an author and a marketeer, which is so important to a publisher. If you can show to a publisher, if you can tell them, listen, I can do that, I can do this, I have a list, I have a Facebook page, and you use some of the tools that you learn with us, especially in the Master Entrepreneur and in the Write Your Book course, then you can show them that you know also how to get that book out of the stores. Because what most people don't understand is that the publisher's job is just to get the books into the stores. Okay? It's your job as the author to get them out of the stores. Now, as a student of Open Circles, it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay? But most authors have no clue. So they think that as soon as they finish writing the book, they give it to the publisher and their job is done. And if you know better, which you should know better, then you know that it's your job to actually make the book a success. And when you can communicate that to a publisher, you got yourself a deal very, very, very easily. I got myself a very lucrative deal with my publisher because I knew how to market. And that's something to think about. But let me share with you some stories of other students of us. So I showed this book before. It's Losing Weight as a Spiritual Practice. And what I'm trying to show is that there are different reasons why the books are successful. This is just differentiating the author very, very, very well. She's actually called it a spiritual journey. So actually losing weight is a spiritual journey. So this is a way to differentiate herself from everybody else that is selling books about or writing books about losing weight, which there are millions of those, and she just found her own niche, which will not. She can't be stopped as soon as she's starting with that. This is a book that I shared with you yesterday, I think, or yesterday in the last video, from Ron van der Vleest, which is a lot about the education system. Dear Nisande, that's his words when he gave me the book. Dear Nisande, I had never thought of writing a book. Thank you for your information. It is here. Thanks, Ron. And I think that this book is going for schools mainly. But to be honest, I didn't read that. But one of the success books. The next book is an interesting story. This is actually an English book. It's from an American woman. She's a doctor, a physician. And she was a very, very high physician her name is Charlene Beluso. And she was a very, very high physician in the UN, I think, or something like that, one of those organizations, specialized in rare African diseases or something like that. And she got to a point in her life when she wanted a change. She wanted to do something different. She wanted to leave this world of medicine or medical studies. She was a scientist. She was more on the scientist part. And she wanted to do something else. And Vera met her in a conference somewhere, I don't know where, and she told her she heard about the Write Your Book course, and she just flew all the way from Los Angeles to follow the course. And as soon as it's ended, she flew back. And within 3 weeks, she wrote this book, which is called Authentic Essential Living. And that was quite a few years ago. She dedicated the book to us, but that's not important. But the point is that this started a whole new company for her, a whole new life, and she was starting teaching people sensual living. She had a shop, she had a winery, because she's in California and wine country, so she had a winery for special wines. She did everything that has to do with the senses. So it wasn't about sexuality, but about the senses, the smell, the sight, the touch, and everything. She started a whole new career from that, and the book opened for her possibilities that she could never have otherwise, without that. So this is an interesting story. This is a book from a few years ago of Miranda Campers, which is about the best version of yourself and women only. So she also focused on that target audience, which is just for women. But in 3 months, get ready for a career boost. I didn't see her for a while, but what she told me is that at the beginning, that this book, as soon as it was out, got her places in the most popular talk shows here in Holland and everything. It's also a very beautiful book, done also, which is kind of nice as a bonus. But it built up her expert position. It's with exercise and everything. So this is Miranda Campers as one of the examples. This is a book from Herman the Knave, and it's actually interesting to show you something. It's called Op weg naar rust, on the way to rest. And Herman and his wife are coaches, and they develop a special coaching system for helping autistic, I think, kids, but also adolescents. And what the subtitle for this book is the Pilar method for something, for guiding with autism. I don't want to try and break my teeth on the Dutch part, but the point is that the Pilar Methodiek, and Pilar is a 6-letter word, which is actually their system, their technology, and this is what they learn. What you learn in the course is how to create a technology. So it's a system that people can follow in order to get certain results. And almost all the books that we're teaching will have a technology in it, because that's what makes the success. Here's another one like that. So this is a book that I mentioned, I think, the last time, for Michaela Wiersma, and this is about letting your unconscious blocks melt. That's why she's talking about melting the iceberg, with the start and go method, which is again part of what we're learning, or what I'm teaching in the Write Your Book course. And what I'd like to do about this course for Michaela is just to share with you a few words that she wrote. She wrote a whole letter about it, but just a few words. She said, today is a great day because I received my book 8 months after starting to write the blueprint, which is the first part of writing the book. Today I hand over to you this book that I believe in. I believe in making a difference in this world. I believe that if you have a dream, you can realize it. I believe in doing, in possibilities, in consciousness and humor. Start and go, which this is her system. Start and go, just go for it. She says, I had a hobby, something zwevelig, but I never made it more than that. And you and Vera changed my mindset to think as an entrepreneur. And she said, you even get my husband, she called it my Superman, into changing his mindset. He understands the hours I work, the investment I take, and the must of this book. In Your Hand is my first book of many to come. And this is important. I'm actually encouraging our students to become a serial author and not just being one. And I don't want to get into the reason for that, but there's very powerful reasons for that. So this is my first book of many to come. It describes the start and go method. The uniqueness of this Change Habits book is to combine your body with your mind. If you want to change something, set your goal. Want to reach your dreams, your body gives a reaction. Your body tells you how you feel and what borders are. Changing habit is listening to your body and learn from it. I do this work for 10 years now. Thanks to Unisunday, it became a method. And this is really important. This is part of getting a book, is taking what you know and just structure it, very structured. We structure it as a method. We structure it into blocks that is called the blueprint. And then everything becomes simpler for you, but simpler for your readers. Again, thank you for this great opportunity to be involved in this. It took me 8 months. The blueprint 1 week, the writing 2 weeks, the feedback forever. And in between, I changed my target audience, my way of working, my friends, my clients, and my mindset. So this is from Michaela Verisman from Smelt the Iceberg. So this is one book that is, I wanted to share a little bit about that. This is another one. It's a new book that came from one of my students, Esther Molenaar, and that's Bloch and Doe Zo. So this is a book about the teaching about blogging, which is something that I'm very passionate about. So I'll share with you a few words that, Esther Molenaar was writing when she gave me this book. Well, here it is, Bloch and Doe Zo. Now, she participated in the course, by the way, twice, in the Write Your Book course twice. So she says, since I joined the first time, or since the first time I participated in the Write Your Book in 28 days, I had a book about blogging that was hiding in my desk drawer. Okay, she did the same mistake as I did. This January, so this year, 2014, I thought, now or never. So she came to the course and she said, I completely rewrote the first manuscript and rewrote a large part after a few test readers gave feedback. During the writing process, I rewarded myself with motivational stickers. You can see some examples here. I wrote the book completely by hand, no computer whatsoever. The system I already knew since 2011, the first time of the course, and it made me a better writer, not only for clients, also for my own writing, web pages, ebooks, etc., etc. I used the book during a networking event, and people come to me. Remember that? We mentioned that. And now I have a prospect that I can help her franchise organization blog better. It's a 5,000 euro assignment. Giving the book as an extended business card is experienced as a present. Yeah, it's not promotion anymore, and people love to receive present. Thank you for everything. And so this is Bloch and Doe Zo, and I like the book very much. I even wrote for her the introduction or the foreword, if you want. So this is another one, and one last one that I want to mention. I think I showed that I just got it a couple of days ago from Arineke, and Arineke Elsenaar, and she wrote a few things which are really interesting to know. Dear Nisander, she writes, I have some interesting experiences that I would like to share with you new students. So just 2 weeks ago, my book was published by the publisher Bowman Nellison, that's the publisher, in Amsterdam. I did your course, Write Your Book, in 28 days last year. My family and partner were very, very skeptic that I wanted to write a book because my language, my writing was very, very bad and was never my interest. Then I wrote my book within 8 working days of 5 hours. It was so great to create. Wow, I did it. I made the choice to publish it myself. So she did self-publish. If you remember, I was talking about 4 different publishing methods that out of the 5 that I'm usually considering. And I said that the first one you want to publish a traditional publisher, but the second one is self-publishing. So she said, I made the choice to publish it by myself. That's the self-publishing. I found a firm which made it in print on demand and which also took responsibility to deliver the books to the shops and organize the payments, which is cool. But later people asked me which book publisher I have, and not having an official traditional book publisher was labeled as, so-so. For this reason, I wanted my book to be part of Management Book Collection, and I succeeded to get Bowman Nellison interested, and now they are publishing my book. And P.S. I used my previous print-on-demand edition to ask recommendation from big shots within my working field, which are now in my newest edition. And I got recommendation from a professor in Nyenrode University, an emeritus HRM health and welfare professor, and many, many other people. Greetings, Arineke. And this is the power of doing it right. Okay, it's not a very big book, but now it's a book that was accepted by a known and respected publisher. It makes the potential for the book much, much bigger. So those were a few of the results that my students created and a few of the books that they created. And those are just very small sample of hundreds and hundreds of books that became best-selling books as a result of people actually following the system, following the method. And I would like to make that method available for you for the last time. In January 2015, I'm going to give this course for the last time. We recorded it last year in the highest quality, and we're going to make it available in the next years as an online program, but as a live training when you have me, to be able to answer your questions, to be able to create an interaction, to do discussion, to do the exercises together. All this is available for the last time in January this year, and I want to make that if you're serious about writing your book and publishing, I want to make it available for you this year. There's very few places left because we have the whole business university students that are coming there, and we have right now, I don't know 120 people already there. So we have a few places left, and I want to make one of them available for you if you're serious about it. So I'm going to give you a very good deal right now, but just that you know, for total transparency, we're going to keep that offer open for 5 days and 5 days only. I don't know when you're actually watching this video. If there is a date underneath this video, then there is still a possibility. Otherwise, it's gone. But it's also depending on how many people are going to take it, because we don't have a lot of places. So I think that we have about 12 places left. So, when they're taken, they're taken. So if you're serious about writing and publishing your book in 2015, and you want me to help you with that, please take notice on that, and, not just take notice, but take action. Yeah? So here's the deal. Here's what I can offer you. First of all is the Write Your Book course. The Write Your Book course was for most of the years was a 2-day course. Which we did over a weekend, and that was teaching you basically how to write your book. That's what the course was. It was write your book in 28 days. And in that course, I would teach you how to write your book in 28 days. And again, it can take 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, it doesn't matter, but you learn the strategy, you learn the system, you learn the method. There's a method for that if you follow it, you will be able to write your book in a few weeks. That's what it takes. You will know everything that you need to know about getting published, so getting the book published, and you will learn how to use it to expand your business. That's actually wasn't the original version. That is now in the version that we're doing now, which is 3 days. Let me go over a few things that you're going to learn, and I'm going to just read them because there's actually 25 things that we're covering in the course, but I'm going to cover just the first 10, the things that you need to know most right now. So first of all is, of course, how to write effortlessly a book within 28 days. And effortlessly, I mean that it takes about an hour a day of writing. And you heard what Arin Necker was doing, which she was doing over 8 days. She was writing 5 hours a day. I was doing it in 2 weeks, where I was writing 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes a day. So it depends. I personally prefer to take a week off and then write most of my book. And I did that with more books than just the Elements of Success. It's easier for me than to take an hour every day. But, it depends on your lifestyle, but you don't need more than that. Okay, so we'll teach you how to do that. I'll teach you how to create your own technology. Technology is what differentiates you from everybody else in your field. And I shared with you a few of the technologies that people were sharing there in their books. Usually it appears in the subtitle or a subheadline of the book. And in my case, for example, in the Leif Lecker book or in the Elements of Success, it's called SPICE. And what the technology, I think that the term technology was developed years and years ago by Tony Robbins. It's basically a system, a step-by-step system that if people follow it, they will get the desired result. And if you remember what Brian Tracy was sharing about or was endorsing my book at the beginning, I'll just read you that one sentence. You'll see how powerful it is. It says, this practical, fast-moving book gives you a step-by-step plan you can use immediately to achieve greater success in every area of your life. So this step-by-step is not a coincidence. It's what the technology does, and I need to teach you how to do it and how to create it. And without it, your book is going to be flat. Doesn't matter how valuable information it is, it will be flat. It won't have this flair, this something special that will differentiate it from other books. So the technology is a crucial part of the course and of your book. Number 3 is, how do you get experts in your field to actually endorse your book? So I shared with you a few of the endorsements that I got to my book. You heard from other students of mine how they get top experts in their fields to endorse that. There's a little bit of a system how to get that, because why would they do that? I mean, they don't know you, they don't have the time, they're busy people. How do you get them to actually do that? What triggers do you need to push in order to get them to say, yes, I want to support you? And I got 27 out of my 40 favorite top to do that. And there's no reason why you cannot do that too. But more than that, in the course itself, I will do more than just tell you how to do that. I will give you my actual letter that I used in order to get those 27 endorsements out of the 40 people. I will give you that letter. All you have to do is to change the details that are describing my book into the details that describe your book. I'm giving it to all my students, those of them that are using it, getting the endorsements. It's very simple. It's 1A4, but it works like crazy. Okay? So this will be my gift to you. Then I'm going to share with you how to use your book as an unending magnet to get new clients. And I gave you a few of those strategies very shortly on the second video, but there is more of those, and you really need to understand how to do them step by step in order to get the maximum of that. But your book is, as soon as your book is ready, you're going to see how people start getting attracted to you and to your business. They're calling you out of the blue, and you ask them, how do you know about it? Well, I saw your book somewhere. They might not even read your book, but they heard about your book, and they will come across. But you need to do something for that. It doesn't happen by itself. I'll teach you that. I'll teach you how to create a non-fiction book on your specialty that is better than anything else that is written out there. And this is, whenever I'm saying this statement, especially when I used to do it in public, you know, when people would sit there, I would immediately see how people going like this, you know, like they're cringing, like, how is it even possible? How can you promise something like that? It sounds too big. But the truth is that it's not so difficult when you understand how to write a book the right way. When you understand what's the essence of a book and what needs to be there, you will get it that you can do it better than most of other people. It's not that it will be written in a better language. It will be written better in a sense that it will get better results, faster results, more efficient results to those people that are reading it. Remember, we are in non-fiction. We're trying to write a non-fiction. We're not trying to write a poetry or a script here. We're trying to write a non-fiction which has only two purposes. One purpose is either to solve a problem, or purpose number two is to answer a question. If you can do that better than anybody else, and it's not so difficult when you understand how, then your book is better than anybody else. That's it, point. How could I get a book that is about success when there are thousands of books about success on every shelf? 10 years ago, there were those, and still my book got to the top and got to the attention to the, you know, of the top people in the industry. Not because I was so smart, but because the book is written the right way, and it's just following the method. You can do that too. So this, I find it very, very important. Next part is very practical, but it's so important, and it will change your writing in anything that you're doing. I will teach you how the fastest method for research on the universe, in the universe probably, and it has nothing to do with the internet, nothing. So you will need to do some research. It doesn't matter even if you're the biggest expert in the world, you will have to do some research for your book. And you want to do it as fast as possible, as efficient as possible, so you don't waste a lot of time. Now, it's not fitting for most entrepreneurs because they like to research. I don't want you to like to research because that will take forever. I want you to write the book, not to research. So I need to teach you the fastest way to get that, but not just the fastest in a sense of you get the results faster, you also get the better results or best results that you can't find anywhere else. For sure not on the internet. So this is really powerful, how to research, the fastest method of research. I will show you how to make sure that your reader cannot wait to read the next chapter or the next page. And there's a method there that forces the reader to keep on reading all the time. And from a market, of course it's very powerful if somebody says, hey, I sat and I read this book in one sitting. That means that the book is really good. I mean, that's how we consider books are great, if you couldn't stop reading it. But it's also right from a marketing point of view, because when people finish the book very, very quickly, then there is next action that they need to take. There is the next section because it's over. What's next? And what's next is usually contacting you or contacting your website or checking. You know, so this is very, very important that you know how to do that, how to get them to read the next part again and again, or immediately after they finish the chapter of the book. I'll show you how to develop the best titles for your book, and it sounds very small, but actually title is very, very important. It used to be very important in a bookstore in the old days when we were still going to bookstores or to libraries, because all the books, let's see if I can hold them, all the books were standing like that, right? So if the books were standing like that, then the only thing you could see is the title. Now, I don't know if you ever noticed, but have a look on your library at home, and you'll see that if the author is not really known, the name of the book will be big letters and the name of the authors will be small letters. But if the name of the author, if the author is very known, best-selling author, then what you'll see is that the name of the author is very big and the name of the book is very small, because it's not so important. People buy it because of the name of the author. You're not in that position yet, so people will need to buy the book by your title, so the title better be good. This is the old days, but in the new days, you know, in the way that people buy books today is, you know, they go on Amazon or Bol.com or any kind of a online bookstore like that, and what do they have? I mean, you put a search term, I don't know, change management, autism, losing weight, whatever it is, and then you get all those books, and the only thing you have is a title. Before you click in to see what the book is about, you see the title. So the title is crucial to get it right. And you know, most people don't get it right because they try to be cute or try to be smart and not try to be intelligent about it. And I need to show you how to do that. So that's number 8. Number 9 is how to edit your book very, very quickly. And this is important because most authors think, well, editing is not my job. I have a book ready, I'm saying it to the publisher, and they will get an editor, which is true. That's the job of the editor. But if you get a book that is not edited, at least reasonably edited, to a publisher, they won't look at it because it's not yet there. So my job is to show you how in one day, 8 hours will take you to edit a 200-page book how to edit it and move it from good to great. That's the only thing it needs to do. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's great. And you do that by a few methods or a few strategies that will blow your mind. I mean, when you will hear that, you say, Sunday is crazy. But this is how you edit a book, which is totally counterintuitive to anything that you ever learned or thought to do. And this is also when you do that, that's important, because you're not editing while you're writing, you're editing at the end. And that results in very quickly writing a book, but also very quickly editing it and making it very, very good for a publisher. So this is, I think it's one of the greatest things that you can learn for your writing career. You know, whatever you want to write, if you want to write articles, if you want to write web pages, if you want to write blog posts, whatever it is, it's always a very valid, very, very powerful strategy. And the last thing I want to share with you is how to get the book out there, how to make sure that the book is being spread and making sure that it becomes a bestseller. It's going to be an amazing year. 2015 anyway is going to be amazing with everything that is happening around us. You can make your business grow through the roof if you will take the time to actually write your book, publish it. If I can help you, I'll be very happy to do that. If not, well, you're on your own, and I wish you all the success in the world. If you join us, I can almost guarantee your success if you will do the work, if you will implement. And until we see you either in January or the next time, to your success.